So last night was really cool. I actually became lucid like as I was falling back to sleep after wake back to bed. I was noticing like weird things in the room. Like I noticed the one that I remember specifically was that here on this wall above the calendar there was a weird symbol that was appearing on over the calendar in green, I think. And yeah, I think I was just hearing sounds and stuff like that too. So did a reality check and found that I had transitioned very smoothly into a lucid dream or into a dream and then pretty immediately became lucid. So yeah, I got up and opened the window to climb out. Um I believe with hand motion commands I opened it. And I was having one of those moments of really just appreciating the fact that I could look around and be like, wow, this is all a dream. Because I feel like a couple times in the past few days, I I would kind of have these thoughts of like, I wish I could be in a dream like right now, and I don't know, maybe just compare it to real life. But also sometimes I feel like the idea of lucid dreaming just becomes really cool again for some reason. Like, wow, man, you can just be in a dream and look around and know that you're in a dream. I don't know. It's kind of hard to get across the feeling or the thought that I'm trying to express. But anyways, yeah, so I was climbing through the window, appreciating that. Um and when I started thinking about that, the my vision started to kind of not be all there, like things started to get transparent and stuff. And like kind of like when one of your eyes covered, but more like when one of your eye is not focusing on what you're trying to focus on. I'm trying to demonstrate it in front of the camera, like like that. I don't know if you can tell. Sometimes that happens to me, like I go all lazy-eyed. But yeah, so climbed out, and then what happened? Oh yeah, I think I had a false awakening. But immediately reality checked, and so yeah, I was lucid again. So this time I went to leave through my front door, and it's been daytime in the dream, so that's a positive thing. But yeah, I left through this door actually, my room door, and I started going towards the kitchen area, and then something else really cool happened. So it was as if my subconscious had separated from my own body. Like obviously it was my dream body, right? But it was as if my consciousness now occupied another dream body. And he was like he was unhappy with me, like he didn't want to go that way that I was going. And I tried to like force him to go that way, like I'm the conscious, I'm the one in the driver's seat, so you do what I say. Um so yeah, I don't I don't think I actually tried to like push him in that direction. Um but I tried to get him to go there. I don't know, not really by telling him. It's hard to explain the process. But yeah, and then we started to get into a fight. And so he like grabbed me and we started like wrestling and stuff. And I was not a fan of that. So I did the thing where I just closed my eyes and kind of like let my body relax and act as if nothing around is real. Um and that makes everything disappear, and usually it either makes me have a false awakening or wake up for real. In this case, it was a false awakening, I think. Or was it? Let me check my notes. I had to take very undetailed notes because this was a pretty long one. So hopefully I mentioned. Oh, I remember now. Okay. So, yeah, another false awakening here in my room again. And so I started to leave through the window again, but this time I asked my subconscious if it was okay with him. And this time he wasn't in a separate body again, but I still kind of asked him. And I waited for his response, and then the curtains to the window started opening by themselves. So I took that to be my response, that my subconscious was happy with that. Um, because it's the subconscious that like formulates the whole dream, pretty much, right? That's my thinking, anyways. So yeah, I started to leave through the window again, but then the curtains shut really quick. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll not do that then. And then on the other side of the window, um, there were some like dudes, hooligans, riffraff, I guess. They were on the other side of the window. And in the dream, it was as if my room was on the second floor, so it was as if they were on the roof outside my window. But in real life, there's no second floor in this house. Um, so yeah, so then I hid under the desk to kind of not let them see me because the the curtains had closed as if my subconscious was trying to keep them from seeing me. So yeah, I was hiding under the desk, and then when I peeked over the desk, I saw that one of the hooligans had opened the window. There's got to be a better word than hooligans because it's very accurate, but it sounds dumb. I don't know. One of the guys had opened the window, and now my subconscious was personified again, but this time in a girl's body. And yeah, he opened the window, and they were kind of just like fighting. So I punched him in the face, not my subconscious, but the guy who was fighting with my subconscious, and that made them leave. And yeah, so that was kind of like a victory. Me and my subconscious won, I guess. And then we had a pretty good moment. We like hugged, and it was a very nice hug. I don't hug people very often. It was pretty nice. Um, their T-shirt was very soft, and then let me see what happened after that. So then I asked my subconscious what species they were. I guess I was thinking they were an alien for a second. Um, and then I realized that that was probably a rude question. So then I was like, oh, I mean, not species. I mean, I guess you're more of a spiritual embodiment than a physical thing. Um, but then I looked around and they were gone, and I saw some footprints on the floor that were leading to the door. So I guess they left. And so I opened my door to look for them, and I heard a knocking at the front door, and then I woke up. So that was really cool in and of itself. But then later on, I had another pretty interesting lucid dream, the same night, which was last night. So let's see. I was in like a law office. I was in like the lobby, and they had this playground made of Legos, and I was at the top. Maybe not Legos. They were actually um, soft cubes that they didn't even have, those holes that they could stick together like Legos, but they were stacked together very cleanly in like a playground type of thing. So, yeah, I was on top of there and I heard some voices coming from below. And I looked down, and one of them was a girl I used to know. So I dropped down and asked her how she was doing. So she said she was fine, but she didn't look fine. She was kind of very sad looking, but also trying to think of the word. Kind of scared. Um, like as if she had been abused, and she was purple, um, which is even weirder, and and her eyes had kind of red, and like underneath the eyes, not the eyes themselves. So yeah, I asked her how she was. She said she was fine. Um, very timidly she spoke, and so then I asked how is the real you, because I figured that this version of her was her subconscious, which I don't know why that would be in my dream, but that's what I was thinking at the time. And yeah, so I said, how's the real you? And then I realized that that was probably offensive. So I said, well, not the real you, not to say that you're not real, but I mean, how is like the physical version of you, like the kind of like the version of you that's like me? Um, and she said she didn't know. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because most people aren't really able to communicate with their subconscious. In fact, most people don't really know what that really is. It's a very abstract idea. So yeah, I guess I was thinking that she was out of touch with the actual that girl in real life. Um, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it was just a dream character in my dream, just not real. Oh, yo, and this was weird. So, as I was looking at her and talking to her, she like transformed into a different girl. And this girl was red instead of purple, and a lot happier looking. Um, and so I asked her if she knew where she went, where the original girl went, and I think she like turned around and pointed, but because she turned around, I couldn't see where she was pointing. But another guy, I looked and there was another guy, and he saw where she was pointing, and he pointed where she was pointing. Um, it's probably too much detail. Probably got confusing, but anyways, um, in the direction they were pointing, the that other original girl appeared. Um, but now there was like blood coming out from her eyes. Like before, it was just like it was red paint under her eyes. But now it was blood. And she asked me. She apparently was seeing blood coming from my eyes too. So she was like, "Were your eyes bleeding before?" And I was like, no." Um, and then we both got freaked out because we took this to mean that someone was after us. Some of that dream logic, I guess. So we started running. Um, so we got out to like the main area of the building, and she flew up to the second floor, and I tried to fly up there too, but I couldn't. Like sometimes you just can't fly. I guess especially if you're scared, because then you're gonna be afraid that you won't be able to fly, and that's gonna cause you to not be able to fly. I think that's what happened. So I looked behind me, and there were some twins coming after me, and they grabbed me, and from behind them, in another direction, there was an adult, maybe in their 40s, in a suit, coming after me too, like as if they were the boss, and the twins were just like their henchmen, which is a pretty classic trope, I think, twin henchmen. Um, and I think there were some other people too in the background, or at least one other person who was with them. And yeah, so when that older one started coming towards me, I kind of like kicked myself away from the twins, or tried to kick the twins away. And at the same time, I did the same thing which I did before in the previous stream, which was just relaxing my body, closing my eyes, and you know, pretending that everything is not real, which is not hard to pretend since nothing is real in a dream. And yeah, so that made everything disappear. And then I woke up for real. I was like, man, that was really cool. I have to write it down immediately so I don't forget. Yeah. So that's the second really cool lucid dream or dreams that I've had recently. The first one was the one with extra dimensional aliens. Um, I love that. You know, when something really just cool and adventurous and weird and memorable happens in a lucid dream, rather than the usual I flew. And because that's really what I'm in it for. Is, I don't know, I guess a sense of adventure. So I'm pretty happy with that. Last night I did that setting my intention thing again, where during wake back to bed I'd say to myself, I want to lucid dream when I go back to sleep. And I've also been doing it before going to sleep initially. But for wake back to bed. So I'll say to myself, I want to do wake back to bed at around 2 a.m. Just make sure I say that to myself so that I don't sleep past it, because I've done that a few times recently by accident. Let me see if there was anything else I wanted to mention. No, I think that was it. So I'm kind of behind on my recording schedule. Um, this video that I just recorded is gonna be going up in like a few days, and I prefer for there to be like 2 weeks worth of buffer. So yeah, today I'm probably gonna record just a bunch of videos. So yeah, probably for the next few weeks you're gonna see me with the same length of hair and beard. But I'll try to wear a different shirt so it's not too weird. Because I don't want it to seem like I always wear the same shirt every day. You know, just be a little odd. But other than that, just feeling good. Um, Happy to be alive. Make sure you take a deep breath, look around, and you know, be grateful that you're alive right now because it's pretty awesome that we get to be here. So there's your public service announcement for the day, I guess. Um, See you next time.